Hello, EOS Nation, and welcome to episode 42 of EOS Hot Sauce. I'm your host, Daniel Keys, and we've got another spicy one for you this week. In this week's episode, Block.one Visibility, Dackathon 2020 winners, Wax, Bounty Block and Hodl God, Blockbase AMA, Emanate and Deadmau5, AccuEOS and Tether, Liquid X release, Farewell EOS Radio, and Dexaran on DApp security. EOS Hot Sauce is available in every format. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to smash that like and hit the bell button to get notified the next time an episode gets published. If you're listening on SoundCloud, hit the like. If you're listening to Apple Podcast or your favorite podcast player, hit the like and give us a 5-star rating and make sure you subscribe. And if you want that EOS Hot Sauce poured straight into your inbox, make sure to subscribe to the EOS Nation newsletter at eosnation.io. First up, Block.one Visibility, Challenge and Developer Portal. Last week, we had the pleasure of hearing a lot from Block.one. We heard some wisdom from Dan in the form of a keynote speech, and the following day we heard from Brendan as he addressed many comments from the community on Twitter. During that time, Block.one also announced an EOSIO challenge, as well as a new developer portal. It feels like we say this a lot, but it was yet another big week in the world of EOSIO. CTO Dan Larimer's keynote speech was at the Government Blockchain Association's The Future of Money, Governance, and the Law event held in Washington in the U.S. Capitol Congressional Auditorium. The talk was filled with great insights. We strongly recommend our readers take the time to either watch the video or read the full text, which was transcribed and published by Sebastian Vanderlens of wordproof.io. Footage of all the speakers and panels is currently available on GBA's YouTube channel. Block.one shared a few quotes of Dan Larimer's in their Twitter account. A blockchain can provide a company huge improvements in security, auditability, transparency, and overall integrity of the business process. The reason blockchains and development framework like EOSIO exists is to free the application developers from having to reinvent the database in order to build secure applications. Not adopting blockchain tech in the years ahead will be like a bank not adopting SSL, and once the technology is widely available, not using blockchain technology could, in my view, be considered negligence. CEO Brendan Bloomer's approach to communicating was markedly different, choosing to engage with the community over Twitter on Saturday. It's great to see Block.one leadership engaging a variety of stakeholders from grassroots communities on Twitter to high-powered government officials in Washington. On Twitter, Brendan addressed topics such as voice and treasury management strategy, among others. On January 31st, Brendan tweeted, "I can see the excitement and expectation for February 14th mounting. Our first stage is a voice technical beta designed to begin inviting a limited number of people each day in the beta environment to explore the product and offer feedback." He continued, "That said, voice isn't just a blockchain version of something that exists, it's a totally new experience. We believe the fundamental differences in its approach outweigh the bells and whistles that disguise the lack of transparency and perverse incentives of existing incumbents." He continued, "Voice rewrites the formula in its users' favor, and that starts with polishing its development hand in hand with social media's new beneficiaries, you." In response from some bullish comments about Bitcoin from Brendan, Colin Talks Crypto asked, "Does this indicate you feel more strongly about Bitcoin in the long run than EOS? Money speaks the loudest." Brendan responded, "We own about 9% of EOS and less than 1% of Bitcoin. It's unhealthy and potentially consequential to acquire EOS beyond such a large stake. We use Bitcoin as an alternative to fiat to store value for operational reserves because fiat lacks integrity. Our Bitcoin fuels EOSIO development." Block.one's EOSIO challenge offers an enticing $200,000 to the winning developer capable of running a Solidity Ethereum contract within an EOSIO smart contract. And finally, the EOSIO developer portal has been given a full revamp, which should make it more intuitive for new developers looking to get familiar with EOSIO. With 6 different modules packed with links, this portal has tons of valuable information for new developers to dive into. Next up, Dackathon 2020 winners. This weekend was the finals of the first Dackathon. Thank you to all the participants, teams, and judges that joined in and made this event a great success. Projects included Augmented Bonding Curve for DAC Financing by Michael Yates' team, EOS Groups by John Heater's team, Time Bank by Lucas Wiesel's team, Ithaca by Atharva Desai's team, Dackathon Event Guide by Lisa Chandler, Crownlandia by Lisa Chandler's team, D-Board by June Dam's team, Consortium by Vladislav Fermatsov's team, CSX Crown Worker Proposal Verification Service by Max Enfield and Dwayne Phillippe's team, and CSX Crown Telegram Voting Bot by Max Enfield and Dwayne Phillippe's team as well. The winner was Dacklify. Judges included Luke Stokes from EOS DAC, Theo and EOS Foundation, Yves LaRose from EOS Nation, Syed Jeffrey from EOS Cafe, Fred Kruger from Lynx Chain and Lynx Wallet, Kurt Braggett from Chirp.la, Dimitri Nikolaros from Block.io, and Ben Sigmund from Sense and Shios. Next up, EOSIO networks. First, Wax, Bounty Block, Hodl Games, and why Wax went from Ethereum to EOSIO. Not a week goes by without a new partnership or project coming to Wax. We love to see this kind of activity, proving that our excitement for Wax is shared by many other great builders in the space. With great pleasure, we learned in an announcement by Bounty Block that their suite of services will soon be available for dApp developers on Wax. As a tool to acquire new customers and engage them through promotional tools, Bounty Block has already proven valuable as they were instrumental in helping the hit game Prospectors to reach more than 24,000 daily active users on the Wax blockchain in December 2019. Besides interacting with their users, a dApp development team can utilize Bounty Block internally via a reward system set up in Asana workspace. OneSys, the winner of the Liquid Apps dApp Network Hackathon, also decided to launch their first dApp, a turn-based battle royale D&D type game called Hodl God. The game is already live, and players are invited to read the battle guide before joining the fun and competing for the $10,000 Wax giveaway promotion. In the release article, the OneSys team shared the reason why they decided to launch Hodl God on Wax. The built-in user-friendliness of Wax was a big draw for them. Services like the Cloud Wallet, which allows anyone to play blockchain-based games without even knowing they're on a blockchain. Capitalizing on its recent momentum, Wax continues to attract established blockchain projects to launch on Wax. OX Games is one of the most popular Ethereum game development studios on Ethereum, and they'll be integrating OX Warriors and OX Razors into Wax blockchain soon. Speaking of Ethereum, did you know that before launching on EOSIO, Wax was originally built on Ethereum? However, they soon realized the massive limitations that make it impossible to operate any business that needs a high frequency of transactions like Wax. William Quigley talks about this topic in depth on another excellent episode of the Everything EOS show. Next, Blockbase AMA. With the recent launch of their test network and their ongoing monthly airdrop, the Blockbase project continues to attract attention. The goal of the project seeks to improve the way data is stored. To accomplish these goals, they've introduced a completely new blockchain architecture, which leverages sidechains and smart contracts to manage communication between sidechain and mainchain. To elaborate on this concept and answer questions, Blockbase's lead architect, Ricardo Schiller, did an AMA on the 4th of February on the EOS discussions. Next up, decentralized blockchain applications, Emanate and Mousetrap. After recently onboarding superstar deadmau5, the future is looking blazing bright for Emanate as they continue to gain traction in the electronic music industry. Following the announcement on Twitter, the team released an article announcing that deadmau5 is also going to port his label, Mousetrap, to Emanate. Make sure to give a listen to deadmau5's first track on Emanate named Acid. This cooperation seems to go deeper than just featuring artists on the Emanate streaming platform. In the announcement article, the following was stated. The Mousetrap team will provide us with real-time feedback building out custom contracts that will work within their existing distribution chain. Emanate is doing an awesome job working with existing structures in the traditional music industry, as well as building up new talent on their platform. For example, the regular remix competitions allows cooperation with established labels and gives the spotlight to emerging artists. Congratulations to the team for the fantastic progress. Next up, AccuEOS integrates USDT, EOS. AccuEOS, the decentralized money market protocol on the EOS blockchain, based on the Compound Finance protocol, announced the addition of Tether's EOS-based USDT to its platform. From now on, USDT can be used to earn interest and used to borrow other assets like EOS and EOSDT, with the benefit of paying off the loan at any time, as long as you have sufficient collateral. The platform will soon add more EOS-based token, and it is looking for community feedback on which assets are most popular. Next up, collaborations, partnerships, and interoperability. Liquid Apps releases LiquidX. We see more and more dApp development teams deploying their products on multiple chains. With the release of LiquidX, the Liquid Apps team provided a great tool for such projects, so they're not limited to the choice of chain, which opens them up to new communities instead of splitting their user base. LiquidX also makes other Liquid App services such as Oracle's storage, computation, authentication, SQL databases, and community-created services available on all EOSIO blockchains. All of these services can also be made available for other smart contract platforms such as Ethereum. Horizontal scaling through interoperability has been a design feature of EOSIO from the beginning, and it's great to see such capabilities emerging now. LiquidX also came along with numerous improvements to VRAM and the Zeus SDK. Developers may want to have a look at the release notes. And our final segment for this week's episode, the vibrant EOSIO community. First up, EOS Radio closing ceremonies. Time to say goodbye to EOS Radio, one of our favorite shows that always brought us much joy and high-quality content. In their last episode, Ash and Zane invited the community to relive all those moments and created a great review of important projects and developments within our community. Starting from their proxy voter, the Freedom Proxy, both were deeply involved in shaping the political sphere of EOSIO, and were never too shy to call out existing pain points. Fortunately, Ash and Zane confirmed they will stay involved in the EOSIO community, and Ash shared he'll be working at Block.one as a product manager for a new exciting project that's yet to be announced. We want to thank the whole EOS Radio team for the great service they've brought to our community. Ash, Zane, and Dex, thank you so much, and see you around. And finally, Dexaran on the security of dApps. The security of user funds is of major importance to gain trust and foster further adoption of blockchain applications. News about lost user funds due to hacked applications are mostly not related to blockchain protocol itself, but to poorly designed smart contracts or user error. Dexaran from the Callisto network contributed yet another in-depth article on EOS Go, and this time he shared many valuable insights on how it's possible to avoid poorly developed applications. A great read that we highly recommend to anyone that's thinking about building a dApp, but also to those who want to learn more about the architecture and options to enhance security for applications built on EOSIO. And that's all for this week's episode of EOS Hot Sauce. If you enjoyed it, make sure you smash that like, hit the bell, give us a 5-star rating, and don't forget to subscribe to the EOS Nation newsletter at eosnation.io. EOS Nation is a top 21 block producer on the EOS public network. We earn inflation rewards based on the percentage of tokens staked towards us. Those rewards are reinvested into EOSIO community, tools, and infrastructure. Help grow the ecosystem by staking your vote to EOS Nation FTW for BP, or proxying to Proxy4Nation. Remember, we never accept compensation in exchange for featuring projects in the EOS Hot Sauce. That means if a project is included in the EOS Hot Sauce, it's because we believe it brings value to the EOSIO ecosystem, and we want our community to know about it. Are you building an interesting project on EOSIO? We want to hear from you. Reach out to us on social media or email info@eosnation.io. Thanks for supporting EOS Nation and for listening to this week's episode of EOS Hot Sauce. If you'd like more spicy updates, check out eosnation.io and find our previous episodes. Once again, I'm your host Daniel Keys, and we'll see you again next week. Until then, let's keep it spicy.